Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I wanted to talk, and I want to try to make this video as quickly as possible. I know that in our busy lives in the world, we don't have, an hour and a half to watch a video. I do try to watch some that I can. That's very informative. But my question is about the churches. Which churches are going to stay open? Is there a list of those that are going to stay open through everything? I'll tell you which ones are going to stay open. It's the ones that conform. Those are the ones that are going to stay open. The ones who sacrifice everything. Who follow the government and not God. We already saw that it happened during COVID-19. We already saw that. Which should be all the more sign that house churches are what should have always been, and will be again for many folks who, when the churches are either burned down or destroyed or whatever it may be, or 501c3 comes along and says, hey, we're not 501c3 and we want all our back taxes. Now some will argue, or actually a couple of people I've talked to and said, well, they're not going to do that. I love how when somebody says the government won't do something, I'll tell you what the government won't do in the long run: protect you. We know that. Look around, what's going on. We are not to conform to this world. And I want to bring, excuse my throat, I apologize. I want to bring up a couple of verses to illustrate that point, so to speak. So I want to first turn to John, forgive my crooked glasses, the Dollar Tree. I'm not the richest man in the world. John, chapter 15, verse 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, that's not the one you were talking about. Well, I wanted to read that first, and I'm going to have to find 1 John as I speak. Well, you know what? Let's just read 1 John chapter 2. Verse 15, I think. Yes, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. That's beautiful words, isn't it? We are not to conform to this world. And when your church buildings do, know that you never should have been in the building itself in the first place. To me, it's quite simple. We're back to where we were. We're not back to where we were because, they're persecuting the church buildings too. No, the church buildings never were supposed to be there in the first place. So where do you worship now? There are those who have said in the past, where do I find God? I made a video about this before. Now, how do I find God? What do you mean, how do you find God? He's all around you. I don't understand that concept. It never seemed right to me. I'm like, couldn't wrap my brain around that. Where do you find God? I'm like, how do I worship God? What are you talking about? Everywhere you are, in my truck right now, in this parking lot by a Salvation Army, anywhere. I was trying to think of anywhere. Parks, anywhere you are. Everywhere you are, you can worship God. I had one person tell me they have to be next to a Eucharist to get closer to God. Really? So all those people who were not able to be near it now have no ability to be next to God. That is absolutely utter nonsense. It's insanity. And I don't blame everyone. I'm not mad at everybody because you were conditioned that way. We were all conditioned at some point until we were able to break free and realize, wait a minute, When you open the King James Bible and you just read, you're like, holy cow. Oh, I shouldn't have said holy cow. I'm sorry. For crying out loud, I'm trying to think of the word. It was so easy and simple. And yeah, you got to remember, pastors, they went to colleges and all that money they get wrapped up in them. And I'm sure some meant well. No, I'm not, better than everybody else. It just seems to me, if you read the Bible, it's so clear and so simple, and yet we make up so many extra doctrines and books to explain things. You don't need all those books all the time. You need one. Just one. It's pretty clear. So which churches are going to be left standing? Well, those that conform. Those that turn their backs on God and conform. Those are the ones. Those who turn their back on the Scriptures. Those are the ones. And you go, oh, are you Old Testament or New Testament? I'm All Testament. I don't know. I just made that up on the fly. The Old Testament is the foundation of the New Testament. Without an understanding of the Old Testament, one doesn't understand some of the New Testament. A little bit of the New Testament stands on its own, but the Old Testament is it. I don't know why I have to explain that over and over again. Even a church building will tell you that. They just won't tell you the right scriptures. Or they leave out words, which is my favorite. They leave out words and add words. I love that. Isn't that amazing? Ah, boy. Which churches are going to be standing? Churches of the devil. Wow, that's pretty harsh, Stephen. Really? Well, if you've turned your back on God and you don't follow the scriptures and you go absolutely against it, and it's not led by God, who do you think is leading it? It doesn't take a rocket scientist or a genius to figure it out. You may not like that truth. And we are living in a society, by the way, that truth is a terrible thing. Lies are so much better because, they fit narratives. Well, I'm not here to fit a narrative. No, thank you. I mean, we're literally living in an age where that tree is not the right type of tree that should be there, or I don't see that tree, and I'm looking at that tree. People have lost their minds, but it is up to us, those who are following the Bible. Not just me. I'm just one guy, dude. I'm just one simple dude along the way here. We need to be loud out there. We need to get there. Thank you for tuning into this video. I appreciate it. And as always, God bless. I love you. And be vigilant. Not a vigilante. Be vigilant. Don't give up hope. Don't fall for the nonsense. I don't mean just the COVID-19. Don't fall for those churches who say to you, it's only about health. If you have God within you, if God abideth in you, you shall be fine. I love you. Have a beautiful day.